Hello, this is Professor Marsh, and this is Accounting 432, Individual Income Taxation. This is the first of four special videos that I'll be recording for chapters 1 and 2 regarding the quizzes and the homework. And so let's go ahead and get started with chapter 1 and the quiz that we had. I'll be discussing the questions and the correct answer for all 8 of the questions, the 7 multiple choice questions, and then the essay question. So let's get started with question number 1. Choose the correct answer. Taxes play an important role in all of the following business decisions except, and the choices are: A, where should the business be located? B, should the business rent or own its equipment? C, how should the business distribute profits? And D, should the business use print advertising or other media? And the correct answer is D, should the business use print advertising or other media? That is one of the that is the one answer that is not one that taxes play an important role in. So the other 3 are questions and decisions that have to be made by businesses where taxes do play an important role. Certainly there's many opportunities to find additional business decisions that taxes play an important role in, but not the choice of media. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Which of the following criteria is not required to qualify as a tax? And the choices are: A, the payment must be required; B, the payment has a progressive effect on society; C, the payment is imposed by a government agency; or D, the payment is not tied to a benefit received by the taxpayer. And the correct answer is B. Actually, the other 3 criteria are the 3 criteria which the book says is required in order to qualify as a tax. So the payment must be required, must be imposed by a government agency, and the payment is not tied to a specific benefit received by the taxpayer. So the correct answer was B for number 2. Let's go on to number 3. The incremental tax paid on an incremental amount of additional income is called: A, the marginal tax rate, and I hope all of you got that right. We've spent a lot of time on marginal tax rates. The others, average tax, earmark tax, and flat tax, are not correct. So 3 is A, marginal tax rate. It means the incremental tax paid on an incremental amount of additional income, the marginal tax rate. Number 4. A taxpayer's total tax divided by the taxpayer's total taxable income is called: A, the marginal tax rate. No, that's not it. B, the average tax rate. Yes, that is it. C, the effective tax rate. Why is it not the effective tax rate? Because the effective tax rate has as its denominator the taxpayer's total income, including both taxable and non-taxable income. And as you'll see in the prompt in the question, I did italicize the word taxable in order to give you a bit of a hint. And then D was the comparative tax rate. That's just something I made up. So anyhow, so the correct answer is B, the average tax rate for number 4. Number 5. A tax which calculates the taxpayer's payment by the formula tax rate times the tax base is known as: A, a flat tax or a proportional tax, and that's the correct answer. If it doesn't increase as the income goes up, it's not a progressive tax. If it doesn't stay flat or decrease, or stay the same or decrease as the taxable income goes up, it's a regressive tax, and it's not none of the above. So the correct answer to number 5 was A, a flat tax. The most significant tax assessed by the U.S. government is and the choices are: the estate and gift tax, the Social Security tax, the income tax, and the sales tax. and I hope you got that it's the income tax. The income tax raises about 50 to 60% of the government's annual revenues. The sales tax is typically a state or local tax. The Social Security tax supposedly goes into the Social Security Trust Fund. Not sure that's really true anymore. The estate and gift tax only raises a very small amount of tax revenue on an annual basis. Number 7, you've got this long question about Art Laffer advising the federal government. And I know we spent a lot of time in class discussing this and discussing the Laffer curve. And I drew an example of the Laffer curve. If you didn't see it in class, if you will Google the Laffer curve and then go to images, you'll be able to find several examples of that quickly online. But Art Laffer was a big proponent of what's called dynamic forecasting, and that's as opposed to the static forecasting that was often used in the past in budgeting decisions. Now, the Congressional Budget Office is supposed to use dynamic forecasting to budget for the effect of tax law changes. So the Laffer curve shows that in between 0 and 100% tax rates, there is a point at which tax revenue is maximized to the government, and oftentimes it is a lower rate than you might expect. In the 1980s, when they lowered the tax rates from 70% down to 28%, it doubled the government's income tax collections. They also lowered the corporate income tax during that time, and corporate income tax collections about doubled also. So it was very successful in budgeting. Let's go on to number 8, which was your short answer. And in 100 words or less, respond to the prompt using perfect grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And in the future, we are going to be adding diction to that list of perfects that we're expecting. And the question was, read problem 55 on page 1-28 of your textbook, and explain whether the tax rate structure in that problem was horizontally equitable or vertically equitable. And so if you go to page 1-28 in your textbook, you'll find problem 55 right here, and hopefully you can see that all. Look at it in your book. And the problem says, considering the following tax rate structure, is it horizontally equitable? Why or why not? Is it vertically equitable? Why or why not? And so we have these 3 taxpayers, Marilyn, Kobe, and Alfonso. Marilyn makes a salary of $10,000, Kobe makes a salary of $20,000, and Alfonso makes a salary of $30,000. And Marilyn, on her $10,000 salary, pays a tax of $600. Kobe, on his salary of $20,000, pays a tax of $3,000, and Alfonso, on his salary of $30,000, pays a tax of $6,000. So, as you can see, Marilyn is paying a 6% tax rate, Kobe is paying a 15% tax rate, and Alfonso is paying a 20% tax rate. And what I'm giving you, what type of tax rate is that? That is the average tax for each of the 3 taxpayers. It's not horizontally equitable because it's not the same for each taxpayer, and it's certainly not the same percentage. It is vertically equitable because the tax rate increases for the taxpayers that are more able to pay it based on their income. So as the income goes up, the tax rate goes up, and that's what's considered to be vertically equitable. So that's the answer to that. So that was your first quiz. Hope you did well, and if you didn't, try harder next time. Of course, you can find the answer to all of these questions on the quiz by careful reading of the chapter. So I encourage you to do that before you come to class at the beginning of each week, and you will do a great job on your quizzes. With that, that's me, Professor Marsh, over and out for now. Sorry that we missed class on Wednesday, but I hope this helped to make up for it. We've got more lectures to come. Thanks. Bye.